Let us jump to a repository. Maven uses repository to store and retrieve artifact. It may be a jar, it may be a war. Maven Central is a default repository, but you can also configure custom repository to store your organization artifact. Maven uses the central repository in order to pull the jar or the dependencies for the first time, and it will store in your local repository. As I showed earlier, the pom.xml, the pull have the dependencies. When you run lifecycle, Maven lifecycle, it will pull the dependency from the central and push it to the Maven repo path. So the path is called as a local repository. When you do clean install, it will pull the data if it is already, if it is not downloaded, then it will download it to the local repository. The remote repositories like Sonatype or JFrog provide a repository where your organization, or if you want to download for yourself, you can download the Nexus repository, install it in your local, and you can use it as a remote repository. Same as JFrog, which will provide the cloud functionality. You can integrate with the cloud, so which also provide the best support to the Maven repositories. Plugins. Maven's plugins based architecture allow developer to extend its functionality. Plugins provide tasks for common build activities like compiling, testing, packaging, and deployment. Maven comes with a set of built plugins, but you can also create custom plugins or use third-party plugins. Plugins consist of goals. Let us look into those things. If you look into the Sonar type, where you need to download let me log into the Sonar type. There are like documentation which tells how to install the Nexus repository in your local system and how to download the certification for a SSL connection. If you download the certificate for SSL connection, you need to have plugin which will authenticate whether the valid certificate is enabled or not. Let us see the plugin. You can also view it in the Maven tool. By default, Spring will have the Maven plugins in order to run all its life cycle. For now, we will create our own customized plugin. Let us see how to do it. Have created a new project. With the group ID artifact and the version. Packaging will be in plugin. have extended abstract mojo and executed the below part in order to show the details of the system where it will get executed in the pre-process lifecycle. And let us compile this one. We have added the dependencies in order to enable the plugin, custom plugin. One is Maven plugin API and other one is Maven plugin annotation. Let us run clean install. We can run through the Maven tool, or if you want to run through the command, either you can use terminal or you can use -u, which will force or check for missing release and update snapshots on remote. -x, it is for a debug output. Clean install lifecycle, and -e produce the execution error. Apply and run. So if you see here, it will show all the debug or the lifecycle information and execution information what we have executed till now. And in the target folder, if you see plugin enhanced.xml, which will have all the information about your plugin. Let us import that plugin in other jar and make sure that we display or we log all our system information. So I have created one more Spring Boot application and added, for this Spring Boot application I have added Lambda. So we have to implement Lambda plugin. Also have added our custom plugins, which is called system info. Let us do clean install. Let us check the pre-process. You can change the pace to validate or any pace of life cycle. The test, yes, we can see the output. Java version, true, OS name and the OS version. If you go back to the plugin code where you see Java home, OS name and OS version and Java version, same thing is printed here. That's all for plugin.